Let's imagine you make it to a social gathering where you don't know many people. At first, you were hesitant about going there, but since you're there, you look around, and there you find yourself standing next to a child and teen psychologist and a counseling psychologist, primarily focused on relationships and self worth. What is it that you want to walk up to them and ask them about? Would it be about your children, your connections, or your family? Today, through Little Trotter Talks, we bring you that very moment. Little Trotter Talks is a safe place where we want to celebrate everything that you're doing already as a parent and find small, joyful ways of strengthening it further. On that note, let's welcome Sridhar Pallaya and Sonal Devekar. Sridhar is a specialist in emotional and social development of children and teens, and Sonal helps families and couples build strong emotional resilience and meaningful connections. Welcome, you two.
Thank you, Shweta, for having me over. It's my pleasure speaking about the child development and parenting any day.
Thank you, Shweta, for inviting me to discuss childhood and parenting today. Both beautiful and equally challenging to navigate.
So, Sridhar, let's begin with you. What is it that you're hearing from children and families growing up in this fast paced world? How are children feeling? And what are the challenges that they are facing?
As you rightly included in your question, it is indeed a fast paced life. My children seem to be having a new age challenges that's a stark reminder that world has changed and how. Now, most parents come with this key challenge of distraction. Distraction being on the top of the list, it is followed by a demanding life for the teenagers or the children. They're loaded with academics and too many things to achieve. The pressure on them is really high. Technology is actually stretching everybody's life to the two extremes. On one side, it is giving great strides and benefits to individuals, whereas on the other side, it is distracting them like never before. Parents' constant battle originate from that of a technology exposure coupled with a fast paced life. And this is leading to distractions. And that distraction is leading our children to the behavior and academic issues. You can see the flow. Therefore, these are the common new age issues.
Right. And distractions, to be honest with you, as grown ups as well, we struggle with it on an everyday basis. So, for a child to come to you and talk about distractions, I'm sure there is a lot to unpack from that. So, then, is that what you're hearing on a regular basis?
Based on my experience raising a kid, raising a teen, and counseling people, I think we are quite overwhelmed with pressure and distractions, honestly. Not just us, adults, even our children. We are rushing our own lives to build a great future somehow. And we are also pushing our kids to do the same. Same grind. Eat, study hard for high paying jobs, extracurricular activities for plan B, sleep, repeat. There's barely enough mutual time left in our daily lives to savor any meaningful moments with our children. But childhood is a very important phase, and with immense possibility, how we raise our children is going to set a tone for their future relationships, material success, emotional and physical well being. That is why it is a big responsibility. Being mindful and aware makes a big difference here.
Okay. So, in line with this, then, how is it impacting their emotional worlds? Is there a pattern that you notice which probably gets overlooked by us as parents?
I think we tend to focus heavily on academics and extracurriculars, which is great because honestly, we want kids to learn STEM subjects and computer and AI, economics, languages, all of these. These are really important. But what we tend to overlook is our kids' emotional needs and mental well being. As a parent, it is my job to make sure my kids is going to fit in the world. The kid is educated, is financially stable. But it is also my job to make sure that my upbringing teaches my kid to grow up to be a balanced adult, one who can handle work, relationships, and hardships of life without losing their minds or worse, losing their will to live. I think today we need to reassess our style of parenting and reconnect with our kids and look at them as vibrant individuals beyond their achievements.
I agree with Sonal, and we need to see it as a holistic development. See, while technology and innovations have brought great benefits, I also see that the new age challenges along the way have impacted our lives. Now, when it comes to parenting of children, the significant challenge I see is that of the emotional and social development, which is really impacted. See, factors such as shrinking in nuclear families, lack of these extended family support, or there are a lot of things such as travel or the new age marriage dynamics, all of which has actually lead to depleting bonding and attachment time. And this is which is very crucial for developing a healthy child. And in many cases, even if the parents are physically available, because of their work pressure, they don't seem to be emotionally available. And the new age digital stimuli is actually contributing to this shorter attention span, inability to exercise restraint. You can see a lot of impatience and irritability among children, and they seek constant stimulation. And these are new age challenges, and these are new age patterns. I also see mental health and behavioral health issues are also on the rise. Unfortunately, the education system is not keeping pace with the new age needs. These are some of the key patterns that I have noticed.
You just touched upon some very sensitive topics there. And as parents, we always worry, is there something that we are missing which is key in the development of our child? So tell me, if you were to call out an overlooked area that you would gently urge our parents to focus on, what would that be?
As I said, the new age has some great improvements, such as, let's say, gender equality and opportunity. See, however, sometimes in the zeal for personal development and wealth creation, no, parenting takes a hit. Now, parenting is a huge responsibility and never to be compromised, irrespective of any personal goals or social norms. It's because an innocent soul is brought into this world without their consent. And therefore, it's parents' absolute responsibility to provide them the best environment that they deserve. So I would say parenting is non-negotiable responsibility, and being passionate about parenting is the single biggest thing that they can offer for their child. Let's admit it. If you're not passionate about business, business suffers, right? If you're not passionate about your job, your career growth suffers. Similarly, if you're not passionate about parenting, your child suffers. Therefore, I would suggest all parents to be engaging and passionate about parenting. Enjoy the joy of parenting.
Well, today our kids are in desperate need of role models to show them how to live a balanced life, a way of life that is a rich and wholesome way, not just academically or financially, but also physically, mentally, and emotionally, spiritually. If adults around the children are out of balance, that confuses the kid, that confuses the child how to act in different situations. Be their role model. We live in a very turbulent world today, which makes it so much more important to have your child's sense of self rooted firmly. It can only come from a nurturing family. Physical and mental fitness, emotional regulation, resilience, ability to find creative solutions to the problems are going to be the most important skills in coming time.
So keep the passion that you have as parents in you alive and be their role model. And that's what we're hearing from Sonal and Sridhar today. So let's move to a topic which is very close to little Trotter's heart, and that's about play and playtime. Because at little Trotter, we think that playtime is not an extra time that you just reward your children for if they've completed their homework or done their chores. It's a very, very crucial time for their development. So, Sridhar and Sonal, tell me, how does playtime contribute in the development of a child?
I love it. Immersive games and playtime is so important for brain children. It is learning by fun essentially, right? To us adults, it may look like time pass, but they learn a lot of skills through sensory toys and parallel play and pretend play. They develop gross motor skills and logical reasoning, problem solving, communication, and most importantly, cooperation. So, very essential for cognitive development and social integration. It also keeps them busy and happy away from electronic devices. So, I think win win for everybody.
Adding to what Sonal mentioned, play is a most potent form of learning. But sadly, Despite the overwhelming research and importance of play for the healthy child development, there is still a lot of room for improvement, whether it's at home, whether it's a early school, or even the mainstream schools. We have not actually harvested fully the power of play. See, the efficacy of any learning depends directly on the state of the receiving mind. What we call it as dopaminergic receptors should be activated for learning. And that happens effortlessly with a play-based learning. The biggest challenge we face in learning is that of willingness, which is intrinsic motivation, and second is that of attention span. But with the play-based learning, these two obstacles are removed. So you can see that play-based learning is like a super highway for learning. Play-based learning means that there is no need for coercion. It consumes least effort of teaching, and it can also sustain their attention for a long period of time. See, not only play-based learning is helping them learn new things, but they're also keeping the distraction at bay, like what Sonal mentioned. So, being consistently practicing longer attention span for the child, you're actually improving a gold standard in the skills such as the concentration, the mindfulness, the patience, and calmness that often we ignore it. Now, play checks all the boxes of active learning. It has the curiosity, the variety, the multisensory integration and input. The impact of play is really significant.
Great. Add simply music to my ears. Because that's the reason why we created Little Trotter. At Little Trotter, we believe that play and playtime can be leveraged to give back so much more to a child in terms of development, especially in those areas that gets missed out by traditional forms of learning. So tell me, many parents say to us that they really want to make the time, but it's difficult because work and lifestyle pressures keep asking for more. What is it that they can do to use their time effectively to create those meaningful bonds and connections we talk about?
See, time deficit is a reality for most parents in this demanding world. The important thing is that how smart are they at using their time. No, it's not how long they spend their time with the children that matters. Actually, what matters is the quality time that they spend. That is what it matters. Therefore, even if both the parents are working, it doesn't really matter as long as they're able to provide quality time, which is emotional availability. Of course, smart planning is essential. But what you can do is use routines because routines are a very powerful way to use time effectively. It also allows the child for active time together. There are a number of things that parents can do together with their children that not only meets their emotional needs of their children, but strengthens their connection. It also builds trust and safety, and that is very important.
Okay, let me ask this question to the parents. If you are hungry in a jungle, roaming around, and see an apple hanging on a tree, will you pick it up? Or will you wait to go home and eat a full meal? We pick it up and eat the damn apple. Be merry. That's the state of our children. That is the state our kids are in. They're hungry for our undivided attention. No matter if it is for 15 minutes every day before the bedtime, genuine uninterrupted time with your child away from mobile, playing with them, just being them, listening to whatever they have to say, their stories. No matter who they are, what age they are in, the meaningful conversation, a regular conversation is very important. Several studies show that there is positive correlation between constructive parent-child engagement and improved well-being, academic performance, and emotional development in children. It leads to strong parent-child relationships and bond. Let's be honest, who doesn't want that? It's great for everybody in the house. The key is to have a routine, no matter if it is for 15 minutes or an hour. It has to happen regularly. That's all.
Okay, so my last question to you then. For children who are growing into their teens and tweens, it's neither easy for their parents because the parents are constantly dealing with this insecurity of losing the influence they once had in their children's lives and losing that emotional connection they had with them. What could be small, easy, everyday hacks that these parents can adopt in early childhood so that they build a connection that lasts for a lifetime and especially in those testing times?
Shweta, I believe that human connections are basic. Right intent, authentic appreciation, and a mindful presence. These are indispensable any day. Simple things. Play together, dine together, read together. These are such simple treasures that often we oversee. Now, these sound to be very simple, Yet we don't really make use of these simple routines. If well done, has a significant impact on the child mindset, the happiness, and their overall development.
It's been simply fascinating to hear all of these aspects that come together to raise a confident and future ready child. Play can be a huge leverage to help them perform better academically and to build the social and emotional connections they need to. So here's to raising more empathetic children. Thanks, Sonal and Sridhar, for joining us today.
Thank you, Shweta, for having me over. I thoroughly enjoyed speaking to you. Cheers.
Shweta, thank you so much. I really enjoyed our conversation. There are important takeaways for all the parents who are watching this. Thank you for having me. Take care.